It's been a rough time for Tekken fans recently. Left and right, we're seeing mass criticism of the game, as it seems like Namco can't help but make the wrong choices time and time again. From the horrendous battle pass to the questionable character balance, and straight up anti-community practices like the recent strike on mods. Despite all of this, I'm here to say that I still have faith in this game. Think about what I just said at the beginning of this video. It's been a rough time for Tekken fans recently. If you think about that, that's actually a pretty crazy statement to make. I mean, we just got the biggest and most modern Tekken game in the series. A game with a huge budget that actually looks like a modern, current generation fighting game. I think we take for granted how lucky we are that we actually got a game like this. After the relatively low sales numbers of Tekken 6 and outright failure of Tekken Tag 2, the result was Tekken 7. An ultimately amazing game that ended up selling very well, but was heavily impacted by the previous games, and thus, the budget was very low. I mean, just look at this game. It's kind of hard to believe this was a PS4 and Xbox One game, but Tekken 8 is just amazing. In my opinion, it's the best looking and feeling fighting game on the market. The visuals, the sound design, the animations, it's all just perfection. Let's not forget about this game's amazing music. And the jukebox feature combined with that makes it even better, but it goes so much further than just the game's presentation. Let's talk about the gameplay. Despite what some people have you believe, it's arguably the best in the series. No matter which character you play, everyone just feels so great to control and fight with. The buttons feel super responsive, every move feels amazing to hit, and balancing issues aside, I actually really like the concept of the heat system. I think it's amazing that they decided to take a risk and actually change the Tekken formula, as every game since Tekken 5 has more or less been the same. Heat and chip damage encourage aggressive play, everyone has seen that, yet I think it will also encourage strong defense just as much or possibly even more. We'll have to wait to know for sure for the upcoming big major tournaments like EVO Japan to truly see where the meta in pro play will lie, but just watching very strong players in this game, I think it's clear that there's more to this game than just mindlessly mashing Heat Smash and Heat Burst. Everyone talks about this game being way too aggressive and too mashy, and again, while I agree to an extent, I think we're too early in this game to say for sure. And I think in a couple years from now, defense will be way different than it will be now. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't balancing issues in this game, because there certainly are. Grab's tracking is a pretty awful change in my opinion, and Heat Smashes and Heat Bursts are a little bit too oppressing for my liking. But the beauty of online games is that all of this stuff can be fixed. I don't think we appreciate the fact that this game has been out for 3 months and we've already gotten 3 sets of balance changes. You know that other really big fighting game? The one that didn't get a single update for over a year and it almost killed the game? Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't a Street Fighter player during those dark times. We've already seen that the development team has been very responsive to player feedback, and they've been very quick about it, despite some missteps here and there. Okay, seriously, whoever thought the Azucena nerf was a good idea needs to be fired. What is this?
It's not only do you step this now, she ends up in Africa. I can't even take an airplane to Africa.
We need to remember how early into this game we actually are. These balancing issues will get fixed soon. I truly believe that. I have faith in the balancing team. But even with everything I've said so far, I still want to encourage all of you to keep being vocal about issues with this game. I mean, I know I certainly have. Don't let anyone on the internet tell you to stop whining because you're giving fair criticisms of the game. I do think some people are over-exaggerating when it comes to certain issues like the balance. Sure, there are some oppressive top tiers, but honestly, I really like the overall direction they went in this game to make pretty much every character feel super strong. Definitely way stronger than they were in Tekken 7. I don't believe the difference between the top tier characters and A tier characters is actually that significant, and I'm really excited to see the character variety in large tournaments. We're far from the infamous Leroy incident of 2020, where over half of top 8 were picking Leroy because he was just so oppressive. If you want to play a strong, tournament-viable character in this game, then you have plenty of options, with the vast majority of the roster being considered an A tier. I think with a couple more balance changes, the game could be in a very good spot. We just gotta tough through this rough patch. Character balance aside, there's just so many other things to appreciate about this game. We got a great story mode. Seriously, I'm glad the new players will never have to experience playing through Tekken 7's story because that was something else. Narrative-wise, it's not the best, but we got a flashy, action-heavy story mode, and that's all you can really ask for in a fighting game. We have the new replay feature, arguably being one of the best quality of life changes ever made to the series, allowing you to go back and control your character in a replay, making labbing and learning 1,000 times easier, even though you can't control your own character against a DLC character unless you pay for it. but we'll talk about that another day. And we have, in my opinion, one of the best Tekken rosters in the series. I'm a huge fan of smaller rosters with less repetition, as it makes each character feel way more unique and distinctive. I think they did a great job making the returning characters feel very different to their previous iterations. We've seen in some other games that having massive rosters aren't always a good thing. Sometimes a smaller amount of more well-developed characters can be better for the game's meta. Honestly, there's just so much to like about this game. It's been the most fun I've had with any game in a long time, and if you ask me, that's the highest praise you can give to a game. It just feels fun. Despite all the issues with this game, I still have faith that Tekken 8, in time, will be one of the greatest fighting games ever made. And we'll look back at the first few months of this game as the dark times before the best fighting game ever found its footing. I believe in this game. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to help me out, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's free to do and you can always change your mind later. It's honestly a really big help. I also want to give a big shout out to my YouTube members and Patreon patrons. Thank you guys so much. I couldn't do this without you. That's all I got for today, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.